Yes.
But
So now, oh, sorry. Yeah, if people have any questions, ask them in the Q&A. It's time for us to start with Hannah. So hopefully, okay, it looks like everything's working. So again, Hannah teaches students and teachers, and she is interested in instructional technology, among other interests, and we're ready to look at her presentation.
Hello,
Thank you again,
hello.
Alex. That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone, for their patience, and Alex for a wonderful presentation. All right, just keep our fingers crossed, guys, here. All right, we were just like introducing the idea here of how to overcome our Zoom fatigue and ideas for activities that could be like starters in case we got like fatigued students. And I was on this slide, the first slide that I just shared. I hope it's clear to everyone. Can you confirm that you can see it clearly this time?
yeah, it's fine.
Excellent. All right. So we were just surveying here if any of us here sort of like experiences, these symptoms or syndromes. In the chat box, you can simply press 1 or 0. 1 if you experience sore eyes with headaches, eye irritation, blurred vision, tearing and blinking. 0 if you don't. All right. Okay. Yeah, just 1 will help us. Any zeros? Apparently, we're okay. I'm glad that you are safe, Ahmed. Okay. This means you don't spend too much time on screen, which is great. All right. So look at the next one here. Does anyone here experience lack of focus? Now, here is to do with keeping track of a discussion, sometimes getting, to the point of when you count the seconds. When are we gonna finish? When are we gonna finish? All right, we got 1, 0, 2 zeros here. Good for you, but a lot of ones again. Okay, how about this? Anybody experiences that when you are part and parcel of a meeting, especially when it's work or maybe a class, and you're unable to butt in the discussion? You cannot say a word. People are just dominating it, or you experience frustration and you're quite annoyed. I'm unable to participate. Well, sometimes. All right, a few yeses here. All right, how about this? Generally exhausted in virtual calls where you have to have prolonged eye contact, and sometimes you're forced to stay in the same spot, especially if you're using a virtual background. If you move around a lot, you look funny. You look like you're jumping up and down, right and left, or maybe you look weird. Your hands disappear or something. So you need to be fixated somehow for an hour or so. All right, it so happens here. How about this? Now, it seems like if you have so many ones, now that's what they call Zoom fatigue, that psychologically speaking is a new phenomena, a mix of tiredness, worry, burnout. This is associated with the overuse of virtual platforms and communication. I experienced a lot of that last semester. It really affected my performance, although I was, very comfortable with online work before and activities. However, doing a lot of it, okay, with my students, I got burned out so soon. Now that made me feel like I need to keep an eye on that phenomena, see how can I possibly beat it. And that's where the whole thing came about. I started looking at alternatives here, how to make this fun. How can I break the monotony of, doing one thing at the same time and going through all these syndromes? What happened here is I came across some interesting ideas in the form of games. now that you can use either at the beginning, the middle, okay, halfway through here of your presentation or online session, that might work. Now, with a bit of tweaking here, you can use Zoom, and, different features, because as you can see, basically people use slides, screen share, all right, and maybe the camera on and off, muting, unmuting. This is exactly the same routine. Now, how about other features that could spice things up? And here is one idea here, the use of a whiteboard. You know where we can get that from? Now, simply, if I just stop the sharing here and maybe just try another share screen here, I go to the whiteboard feature and I simply share. All right, and here you go. Everyone has access to the whiteboard, hopefully able to write something here, or maybe draw something, okay, with different shapes. All right, so it takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm not necessarily the fastest person to write on the whiteboard, but it does seem to be fun if you're comfortable with it. Now, the idea of the game here is called Pictionary, Zoom Pictionary, and you can adapt it to different ideas. What I thought of is if you could draw something on the whiteboard and try to elicit, all right, through the image here, maybe some language points like idioms. So I would be very much interested here to check if you got, okay, any idea what this idiom is about here. Anybody here? Yes, Aisha, you got it. Yes, it's raining cats and dogs, although it's a little bit archaic. People don't say it that much, but I mean, I like the idea, especially it's becoming rainy this at this time of the year where I am in Egypt, all right, especially Alexandria, where I'm particularly located this evening. Now, look at another example here. I hope you can figure it out. It's not as easy. Uh, and the drawing is not necessarily the best, but you can figure it out maybe. Cat out of the bag. Excellent, Nusrat. You got it. Yeah, Aisha, you're right. So now the cat is out of the bag. And here is when we get to the guesswork. Imagine now you share that with your learners. You maybe give them a list to study beforehand, and they can play it with each other, maybe in small groups or all together as we're doing now. So this is game number one. I have to go over them all, hopefully giving you a sense of what we can do. And by the way, you can adapt it to whatever you like. So how about this one here? Now here is where you need to watch my lips. I'm going to be lip syncing something here. So here, I hope the camera would work. Yes, can you see me? Clear, I hope. Now listen to me here. All right, so not yet. Not yet. Yes, you're close, Kuram. Kuram, you're very close. Yes, don't count your chickens before they hatch. That's a proverb. And the nice thing about proverbs, they are cross-cultural. You're bound to find the same proverb across different cultures. So there is something similar maybe in your mother tongue or the student's mother tongue. Look at another one that I had, on the slide. Did you get this one? Yes, Emil, birds of a feather flock together. All right. So now back to the slides. Yeah, I gave a couple of hints here. So just to represent the proverbs and to help with the lip syncing. All right, feel free to adapt that again. There are several ways of doing it. Now, this is game number 2. What about 3? All right. Now, game number 3 is about name the tunes. It's always a favorite of mine. And here, I'm going to stop the share for now. And I'm going to get you to listen to a couple of tunes here. Hopefully, you can hear them well. You're supposed to guess the tune. And okay, it should be like a soundtrack from a movie. If you can name the movie, if you can name the soundtrack, that would be wonderful. Okay, hope it works. So let's give it a try. And 1, 2, 3. And someone got it. This is Fatma. Here I am. Yes. This is Brian Adams. The movie is Spirit. All right. So that's the first one. Let's try another track. All right. See if it works for you. And what is the track? Okay, you got the singer right, but did you get the the track? It is I'm Alive. Very good, Ahmed. I'm Alive, Celine Dion. And she's using, the video clip is referring to some movie, some animation. I can't remember. Is it The Rat? It could be. It could be. But I mean, I can't remember the movie. Anyways, you get the idea here. You can play with that, game in so many different ways. So that's the idea I have for, name the tune game number 3. What else do we have? Now, there we go. Here is why were you late? And this one here may be a little time consuming. I wish I could really play it now, but I don't think so. I wonder if we can have like, okay, let me explain the game first. The game is about, sending one of your students into the waiting room. And, when someone is in the waiting room, they cannot access the main room. They cannot really hear what is going on. So as if you're just sending them out of the class, as sometimes we do. And what we do in the class is the name of the game is Why Were You Late? Why were you late for work, if you wish, or why were you late for class? Now, the point is, we're supposed now to act like maybe have like two students for trial. Two of them here will be telling nonsensical stories and giving ridiculous excuses for being late, right? So they agree among themselves here to save, okay, or have the back of one of their colleagues, the one in the waiting room, okay? So, for example, why was that person late? They broke their pinky finger. They broke their pinky finger and they stumbled over a bike. All right. For example, something that nonsensical. On their way to work, stumbled over a bike. All right. So now they agree on that. All right. Someone is the boss. It could be the teacher for the first turn, and then they let in that, okay, poor guy in the waiting room. That guy is supposed to come in and the teacher role plays. Now, why were you late for work? And that person is supposed to receive messages miming. All right. So the two friends or colleagues here are going to tell him, okay, and bike, okay, bike, and okay, tripping over a bike. It's like through miming gestures and facial expressions, they supposed to send him this message. That person should struggle to keep the conversation going with the boss, happens to be the teacher, convincing her of that ridiculous, nonsensical story about tripping over or stumbling over a bike on their way to work and breaking their pinky or their finger. So that's how it should work. So that's the scenario of the game. All right, I haven't tried it with a group. I wish I could, but I think it does need a little bit of, time to experiment with, and especially we got like about 9 minutes to go, I guess. Or do I have more? More or less, I think 9 minutes. So here we go. Now, going to game number 6. Now, here is something I've experimented with a group of fellow colleagues earlier, the use of the virtual background. Several of you today have used their virtual background, and they can have something like a video or just a still picture of something. The idea here is to use that image. Now, for example, if I try maybe to activate that, should work, I hope. So can you see my virtual background now? Yeah, it's the one on that slide, I guess. Anyways, the point is the students have to recognize the movie I'm in right now at this moment. Hopefully, you don't put characters because these are giveaway. You mean Wilson, Alina, right? This is Wilson. Okay, Wilson in which movie? Um, who is the survivor in the movie? Do you remember the name of the actor? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Who is, yes, Tom Hanks. And the name of the movie is, huh? Yes, that's right. Shahurwan, Castaway. So through the picture and the description here, you may want to ask here about that snippet, that image, still image, and what's going on, and so on. Again, this is you model it for your learners. They can, again, play with it themselves and do it in smaller groups if you wish, maybe inside breakout rooms. Now, let me stop the virtual background because it looks a little bit weird. Okay. Now, for now, All right. So let me just stop it for now. Okay. Now the next game, which is basically the last game. All right. And I think I need to start the video again without the virtual background. So I hope I'm back without the virtual background here. All right. Am I? If not, okay. I just hope I'm back. Anyways, so what is that sort of game about? The game here is called What's in the Box. What's in the box here is about the following. Now, you create a box. You create a box, whatever the box is. It could be like a present, a gift box, right? And you hide something inside the box, right? And you get your learners to ask questions, all yes, no questions, okay? Very much like, the 20 questions game. So they're supposed to guess what's inside my box, all right? Can you give it a try? So feel free to ask questions in the chat box. Is it so-and-so? Is it so-and-so? Does it do that? Does it do this? And so on.
Hi, sorry. This is Stephanie again. I think something happened. I don't see, I think Hannah accidentally left the meeting.
She's coming back now. She's here.
Okay, she's coming back. Great. Excellent.
Sorry, guys, about that. I'm wrapping it up. I'm glad that I reached that point. I just told George about it earlier. Dark forces are up against me this evening. I'm so sorry, guys, about this mishap. So anyways, the last slide I was showing was about what's in the box. And to try to ask some yes, no questions in the box about what possibly I may be having in that box hidden. So can you try? You don't ask about the item. Thank you, Ahmed. Is it round is a good question. All right, let me check. No, it's not round. All right. Okay. Can you guess again? All right. Here is the box. What do you think?
Now we can see you because of the background. Yeah, now it's
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm just hiding it. Anyway, so here, what do you think? What do you think is in the box? Okay. Yes, somebody is so clever about it here. Yeah, somebody guessed it. Is that Shahruan sardine? Shahruan. All right. Can you ask another question here? You're very close. You're very close. So, yeah, that's right. All right. Yes. Okay, that's right. It's you know, I would call it like, yeah, does it smell good? All right, that's right. So something of the sort here. So it is like, I would say, okay, what they call it here, some people would call it like a sanitizer, alcoholic sanitizer, or it could be like a perfume, or it could be whatever. People can hide like different objects of different sizes. Could be a cell phone. So is it round? Is it like square? And so on and so forth. So that's basically what the kinds of games could be. All right. Back again, so I can possibly share with you the resources if you wish. So the last thing I would like to do that, if you can enable that, would be me sharing the resources and receiving some questions if you wish to ask me any on how Zoom could be sort of like adapted to something other than giving presentations, like traditional presentations we have, or maybe like, regular classes like we or normally do. So this is, if you wish to take a snapshot, these are, okay, my references here. So have a look at some of these videos. Okay, it's nice to see other people trying this out themselves, because sometimes the game is not easy to visualize. It's nicer when you see somebody playing it themselves, and that's what I loved best about these tutorial videos on how to have different types of games to use in Zoom and other virtual platforms, in addition to some readings for those who wish to read and adapt further, ideas and activities. So, sure, Yusuf, I'll be happy to do that. So I can share the slides. I can create a link and send it to the hosts of KSOL, George, Fatma, and Hind. Any further queries?
I just wanted to say real quick, we will put the link to the slides on the Facebook page. So if you're looking for the slides or any recordings of presentations, you can check on the Facebook page.
I don't see other questions. If there's any other question for Dr. Hannah, please share those, or else we can conclude.
So here we have a question that says, how do you think games like Name the Tune and Virtual Background are applicable to students who are not of that much interest in watching latest movies and songs?
Interesting question. All right. Although I can hardly find anyone not interested in songs and movies, it's very, very hard. I mean, you can definitely delve deeper. There will be something they like to watch, particularly to do with videos or songs, but think of other types. We don't really have to stick to one category like feature movies, for example. All right, think about other things. I mean, I can consider, for example, shows like The Late Show, a Late Show, and so on. These things, or The Daily Show, these things are like political satire, for example. You may want to wish to explore these comedy, BBC comedy channels. They have very interesting videos available free online. Think about something to do, because video, audio are very powerful. All right, so keep delving deeper. I'm not sure about, I haven't thought about it, but think of documentaries, if that would appeal to your learners, something with information, background information. Yes, okay, anything else you wish to ask for? Yes, definitely, Sadiqa. Yes, we have to really discover our students' interests. Yeah, you have to survey. That's about it.
All right, I think with that said, thanks everyone for joining today. Thank you, Dr. Hannah. Thank you to all the presenters, as well as all the the chapter leaders that were here, Stephanie, Fayaz, Dr. Safa, Malika from the executive board, and Jad Michelson that I saw earlier. So we would like to thank all of you. As Stephanie said, the recording as well as any updates on that will be posted on the KSOL Sol Facebook page. Please check that for further webinars, and we'll be happy to see you again soon. Also, just a reminder for the certificates that will be sent out in maximum 8 business days, and you should be receiving them on your email. If you have any questions, you can just email us or put a comment on the Facebook page. All right? Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next time. Have a good night. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.